phenomenal recovery, Kate. But that moment where you wake up after the stroke and realise you cannot communicate with anyone around you, and the fear you must have felt that something might happen to you as a result must have been petrifying.
I mean, it was. And can I just say why I'm here is I want to give a voice to people who are less able, like I was, and because I think communication is a basic human right, and there are people forgotten about. So if my story can help that, then I'm here to talk about it.
Do you know how many other people are affected in this way?
I don't know the actual stats. There's very little research done on this. I did a lot of work for 5 years with my charity and visited people personally, and people's improvement ranged from being a bit like Tony Nicholson to being like me, and anywhere in between. And there's always hope you can improve significantly. But in answer to your question, that feeling of being aware when everybody else was considered you vegetative, I can't say the word, sorry. You know, 20 to 40% of people are misdiagnosed as vegetative, according to my research when I did my TED talk. But they, you know, it's so scary. The fear, the worry, they're thinking, what if they turn the machine off? I've seen the films. They think I'm not worth keeping. The anxiety of not seeing my kids. My youngest was 5.
You have 3 kids, and I imagine you were desperate to be able to touch them or to hold them or them to hold you, but when they came in to see you, they were advised not to touch you, weren't they, because of all the wires and...
The wires, I was trussed up like a turkey, the life support, the health and safety issues and the being on the bed, and all I wanted to do was give them a hug and tell them it was okay, or for them to hug me. So they had to massage me, and that was the contact I had.
Could you hear people talking about the state you were in? You remember the things that they were saying? Were they saying, we don't think she's going to recover, she could end up staying like this?
I heard a lot of stuff that distressed me. I had lots of awful hallucinations that no one ever tells you about. Things like where I was convinced I was being killed off by the nurses with a graphite drip that doesn't exist, by the way. I heard things, I saw people dying, I heard weeping families. My husband, not in my locale, but he was told that she'd be better off dead in the early days, in the first couple of days after the stroke. And I didn't know that, but I was aware of people talking around me around my bed. But, you know, it could have been worse. You know, I know of a man Jimmy Fritz, who was the nurses were discussing which organs were going to be donated to science after he died, and he heard that, and he's gone on to make a recovery.
Wow.
Goodness me. You managed to indicate to your very good friends that you were definitely still switched on, awake and in there. They then managed to help you communicate using, you know, so you could look at letters on a piece of paper, and that helped you communicate. How did you physically manage to go from that state to actually being able to walk out of hospital?
You know what, I'm really glad you asked me that, because I didn't know about neuroplasticity. I didn't know anything about that. I just knew I had a will to be home to my kids.
We, the medical profession, are learning a lot from you, Kate, because this is rare, and to get a very significant recovery is extremely rare. However, we're learning that we talk about neuroplasticity here, the ability of the will to relentlessly pursue getting the voluntary movements back is often down to the patient, and you were determined to recover. So this is a brainstem injury. There are different causes of it, so it doesn't affect the higher brain function, so people are conscious. It's just that they have no voluntary movement at all, and sometimes they have a little bit of eye movement, and that's all you had to start with. But it is rare. It's very rare.
But I would have to say, though, that, you know, I had everything going for me. I had the kids that were young, the separation anxiety. I had an amazing husband, incredible friends, family, and I think with all those aspects together, I had a really good chance, and I had a bit of luck along the way as well.
And they've got these mind-reading computer interface technologies now, so we can tell whether parts of the brain are functioning, and recent research has shown that patients in this state can be happy.
And, you know, I have to say that you mentioned my first word I spelt out. I'll never forget it. But if you could wrap up every Christmas, every birthday, the first moment you hold your newborn in your arms for the first time, that's how happy I was to have been unlocked.
It's fantastic, extraordinary determination. Great to see you.
Thank you so much for coming in, Kate.
Yeah.
Thank you for having me. Can I just say that I would like to work more with the health service?
Oh, let's do it.
Yeah, good.
Great. Thank you, Dr. Hilary. Thanks very much indeed.